I was in the arena staring at him because, you know, when you don't know what to say, he was like, this horse was crazy. After he treated it for like a week, it was just so fresh. And I was like, is it a good thing? Is it not a good thing? Anyway, turns out it was a good thing in this case. He said after the initial treatment that this horse felt so much better, felt so much free. When I first met him, so let's actually go back to the beginning. This is a dressage horse. So when we think of dressage, discipline specific, this is going to be different to an eventing, a racing, a polo horse, a draft horse. Like when we think dressage, we think stability, we think the controlling type, right? And most dressage horses we're looking for, they have a similar characteristic. So moderate body mass, so we don't want them too heavy, otherwise they can't have the stability that we need. We don't want them too longer limbed, which is quite common nowadays because they get a lot of problems, leverage problems in the joints. We want kind of balanced proportions. We want them to be well muscled. Why? Because they need a lot of support, stability, postural support for dressage, and moderate limb length. But so like this would equate to what we call warm bloods, and this guy is a warm blood. He's beautiful, but he's 17 hands. He's absolutely huge. Like I'm 5'2", and treating him, I need like an extra large box to stand on. But functional characteristics of dressage horses is we want them to have good balance, mobility, stability is key. We want the capacity for the controlled movements, obviously collection. We want moderate elasticity and a strong postural organization. So when we have these horses are really suited to precision, the dressage type, having that control. But they, again, because of what we require from them, are going to struggle with things like max speed, like a racehorse, or pushing power from like a draft type. But nowadays as well, which is where I see a lot of these dressage horses moving to, is we get these kind of multi-directional types where they might have a really compact frame, but they might have, so with that compact frame, relatively low body mass, a shorter back, strong hindquarters, but then they also might have like these longer limbs. So I see this in like my Lusitanos, some of the PREs. So this actually gives them more of this high agility, responsiveness. They might be able to have this rapid directional change in like the Lusitanos, the bullfighting horses, strong ability to turn quickly. Again, great for, again, the bullfighting horses, polo ponies, things like that. But if we go back to the dressage type, right? So this horse being 17'2", long-limbed, the problem with these big long-limbed horses is that they have longer leverage points, right? They have longer levers, so hip joint levers, which when we don't correctly monitor, train progressively, we get a lot of issues with big horses having stifle problems, hock problems, hip problems, back, kissing spines, you name it. And so the question really comes is the horse suited to the discipline? Is the structure of this horse, it might have the right breeding, look pretty, whatever word you want to use, but if it's not structurally built for the dressage demand and discipline, we're going to hit problems very quickly, whether it's compensation, overloading, asymmetry, we're going to hit those issues. So I saw this horse for a second time today, and what I noticed was that his pattern of, I call it a movement pattern, was just totally different to 8 weeks ago, which for me is a good thing. And the rider, the trainer have all said, since his treatment, he's dramatically improved. Like he's found a new level, a new gear. You've heard that term, right? And I think it's a combination of things. It's when you perform a treatment that is suited to the type of horse, the structure, the demand that's required, and understanding the rider. So the rider that rides him is this tall guy, long legs. I mean, they both look perfect together, but he's a very adaptable rider, so he doesn't ride rigid. You know, some riders, like they're good riders, but they ride very rigid. Wouldn't suit a horse like this. But this guy's quite adaptable, but he's also very soft but strong. Does that make sense? He's got a really strong core, but he's mobile with it. He's not rigid, he's not stuck. And it suits this horse's movement. It's supporting him where he's at his stage in his life. It might change when the horse is a little bit older, who knows? And because of the difference in the way he moved today, the key thing that I like to do after this treatment is saddle check and change the training slowly. If we don't change what we're doing, we're going to get what we've always gotten, right? I think that's the saying. So it's really important that with change in only 8 weeks, and quite a lot, movement change, postural change, behavior change, he's more consistent in the contact, he doesn't have the issue anymore with the right canter, which is what he had to start with. That is a lot of progress in a very short time. That does say to me that the horse is responding well, but it also makes me think that less is more. And with him being so big and only 6 years old, that time with small bouts of quality work is suited and best place for him. My goal and aim with education videos like this, sharing case studies, is to give you an understanding of when I treat a horse, or when I'm asked to treat a horse, that it's not the same treatment for every horse. We really have to consider what we call clinical reasoning. So why are you doing what you're doing? And over the years that I've been doing this now for over 10, 12 years, it's very subjective. So the treatment itself isn't, though it's proven by science, backed by, masters, PhDs, that's supported. But in terms of what we treat is very dependent on the subjective experience of the user, of the therapist. And I'm seeing that to have a more beneficial effect, to save clients money, to most importantly do the best for the horse, we really have to start having more of a framework around what we are doing and how we are doing it with clinical support, because guesswork in this day and age is not good enough. But I'm seeing a lot more horses that are having repeated either patterns or repeated pathologies, lamenesses, compensations, and it's really it's bothering me, because I'm like, this shouldn't be happening with the technology and knowledge that we have today. And I believe it's because we don't look at the horse as a structure, the rider as what the rider, how they're put together, what they are doing to themselves as athletes, and then how those two are kind of communicating, and then also what is the demand of this discipline. So what are we doing when it comes to a dressage horse versus a show jumping horse versus an eventer versus a flat racer versus a pony club pony? Treat them all the same with utmost respect and love. However, we do need to have the clinical reasoning and framework to ensure we're doing the right thing. Because should you be treating the body for symmetry? In my experience, 100% not. You're not straight, I'm not straight, and what I do want to be is pain-free and functional, and that's the same principle that I apply for the horse. Don't forget to give me a follow and subscribe, and comment below with any questions.